Imagine you're going to make the most amazing pizza. You have the best ingredients in the world. You've put them together in the right order, and you cook it for just the right amount of time. It smells so good. You've got hungry people that are waiting for this pizza, and you're ready to take it to them. You go, and then whoa, all of a sudden you trip, and you've got pizza all over the floor. You pick it up and you try to put it together and make it work as best as you can, but there's maybe some hair on some pieces and other gross stuff. That is exactly what it's like when you spend all your time thinking about what you want to say for a speech or for a presentation or when you want to talk to somebody, but you don't think about what you're going to do when you go to deliver it to them. And if you botch the delivery, it doesn't matter how many good ingredients are in your speech or in your pizza, nobody is going to want what you have to offer if you don't use the 6 elements of vocal variety that I'm going to tell you about today. What you need to know is that every time you open your mouth to speak, the person who is listening to you is making a judgment call about whether or not they like you, or if they trust you, or if they believe you, if they think you're intelligent or funny. They're even making a judgment call about your work ethic. Do they think you're a hard worker or lazy? Or are you going to have anything in common at all? Should they listen to you? Should they spend any time listening to you at all? They're making this kind of a judgment call when you open your mouth. All of this is happening in the back of their mind, and they're not doing it on purpose. In fact, most people aren't even aware that they're doing this. It happens really quickly, unconsciously, in the back of the person's mind who's listening. And if you're a young person, you're at an even more disadvantage, because people often think, what could you possibly know about this subject at your age? So it's very important to not only know what you're going to say and be organized and research and be very prepared to be eloquent and thorough and have your thoughts all put together when you're speaking, but also how you say what you're going to say makes a big difference. And you know this because you would have heard someone telling a joke that really flopped. You know, they had the timing wrong, or they forgot the punchline or whatever. The joke is good, but the way they said it, nobody laughed because it's not funny. I'm going to give you an example. Bill Murray is a comedian, and he said, I'm going to say it in a very neutral voice so you can get an example of how boring it is. If you botch a joke, I'm going to try and really botch it. Women should not have children after 35. Really? 35 children is enough, right? That's not funny. But if you say it like this, women should not have children after 35. Really? 35 children is enough. See, that's more funny. So there you go. It's really important how you say something, just as important as what you're saying. Today I'm going to tell you about 6 different elements to vocal variety. The first element of vocal variety is pitch. So you know some people have a high-pitched voice and they talk high all the time. And there's some people that have a really low-pitched voice. And research shows that people who have a high-pitched voice don't get the kind of respect that people with a lower-pitched voice do in the workforce.
What do you mean?
This is important to know. It's women or men, it doesn't matter. And the way you can remember is because if you get freaked out or angry or upset and you start talking really fast, your voice usually gets higher, right? And shaky, and so that's not a voice of confidence when you're really high and freaked out.
What does this mean, man? Speak English to me.
But as you age, people's voices tend to get lower, and so a lower voice is synonymous with wisdom and confidence, as an older person would have, right?
The lower your voice is, the better you sound.
So high-pitched voices, not much confidence. A lower-pitched voice, people will respect you more. And you don't have to accept your voice the way it is right now. You can work on changing your range. And if you look on YouTube, you can Google voice exercises, warm-up voice exercises, things like that, and it'll give you examples that you can follow along, because your voice is the most important instrument that there is in the world, I think. Imagine if there was a violin player who had a big concert coming up, and they went to the concert and something happened to their violin. They could borrow one from somebody else and still do the concert. What would happen if you had an important speech to make and something happened to your voice? You lost your voice right before you had to go on stage. What would you do, right? So your voice is really important, and you can exercise your voice. How often do you practice your vocal cords? Go on YouTube, find voice warm-up exercises, and it'll be something like this. I'm probably going to really botch this, but mum, 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 mum. And it'll be different exercises. You'll go he, he. Okay, obviously I need to do more exercises with my voice, but I just want you to realize that you don't have to say, oh, that's just the way my voice is. You can change it. You can expand your range, and you don't have to just be a professional singer to do voice exercises. If you have a voice and if you speak to people, then you are in control of making your voice better. The first element of vocal variety that we just talked about was pitch. The second one is melody. You know, when somebody is talking in monotone voice, that's not about tone, that's about lack of melody. They are speaking just with one tone or one note the whole time, and they're not going up and down enough.
In 1930, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives, in an effort to alleviate the effects of the the Great Depression, passed the
If you want to ask somebody, how are you? You know, that doesn't sound very interesting. But if you say, how are you? Or how are you? You know, you see how your voice moving around makes it a lot more engaging and interesting for the other person. The word monotone is closely related to monotonous. When somebody is talking in a monotone voice, it gets very monotonous after a while. And you know, in Charlie Brown comics where the parents all sound like wah, wah, wah.
Yes, ma'am.
That's kind of what it's like when somebody's talking monotone. The person who's listening will start thinking about their own thoughts in the background. They get bored with listening to you, and they'll be thinking about, oh, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? Or did I forget to put the dog out? You know, all these thoughts are going on instead of listening to you. So instead of talking with just one note, vary the notes, go up and down, practice, and you might have to exaggerate while you're practicing. That's okay. You'll get used to it, and when you are speaking to people, people won't be freaked out by you because you're speaking so much up and down. You'll balance it out. But if you tend to be monotone, actually, you know what is a good idea? Record yourself and then listen to it, because you might not even realize it. Or ask somebody. So far, the elements of vocal variety that we've talked about, number 1 is pitch, high pitch, low pitch. Number 2 is melody, not just talking in a monotone. And the third one is pace. If you've ever been hustled by a fast-talking car salesman, then you know what fast talking is like.
One more time, sir. 25, 25, 25, all the cool people are doing it. 25, 25.
If you've ever waited impatiently for a slow talker to get to the point, then you know how pace matters. You can use pace when you're talking to keep it interesting for people. It's great to talk fast if you're excited about something, or if you want to get people excited about what you're talking about too. And if you are talking about something that's really emotional or painful or difficult, it's okay to talk slowly. So you can vary your pace. Go fast sometimes or go slow. but talking very fast all the time makes it look like you're trying to push something over on people, and talking very slow all the time makes people want to finish your sentences for you, and they think you're not very bright. All right? That's pace. Really quickly, the first step for vocal variety is pitch, high pitch, low pitch. Number 2 is, I don't even remember. See, that's the problem. That's why we're doing this. It's for you to remember too, okay? Wait a second. High pitch, low pitch. Melody, pace. Pitch, melody, pace. Got it. Okay, got it. All right, vocal variety. We're up to number 4. The first one was pitch, high pitch, low pitch. Melody, don't talk in a monotone. Bring it up and down, keep it interesting. And pace was the other one. Talking too fast all the time or talking too slow, you can vary it. And the 4th one now is pause. Instead of talking steady all the time, it's great to actually take a break and pause. Pauses are good. If you have an amazing quote or you say something profound that you want the other person to really let it sink into their brain, a pause is also good if you're saying something really emotional. If it's hard for you to finish saying a sentence, it's okay to pause. It gives time for the other person to feel the emotion with you and really connect. And it's also good to pause when you're about to change subjects. It's good. I'm changing a subject now. Yeah, it's good. That's it. I'm done with pause. What? Pause! I'm pausing. We're up to number 5. Do you need to remember these? Pitch, high pitch, low pitch, melody, not monotone, pace, fast or slow, vary it, pitch, melody, pace, pause. We just paused over there, right? And the next one, number 5, is pitch, melody, pace, pause, tone. So the tone of your voice, has somebody ever said to you, I don't like your tone, young man?
I don't like your tone.
I'm sure you are. Or don't talk to me with that tone of voice. Tone has to do with the emotion that you have. And usually when somebody says that to you, it's because you're sassy or disrespectful or arrogant or something like that, that they don't like that tone in your voice. So you can say something, you can say a sentence any way you like with a different emotion behind it. And a good thing for you to do is to practice. Take a boring sentence like, I'll just say it in a neutral tone first. We're having Brussels sprouts for dinner tonight. And you can say something like that, very excited. We're having Brussels sprouts for dinner tonight. Or you can say it like you're horrified. We're having Brussels sprouts for dinner tonight. Or sad. I can't do it. I'm not that sad. I really love Brussels sprouts. But I mean, take any sentence and practice it. Practice tone in every different kind of emotion you can think of. Excited, sad, bored, horrified, I don't know. Just use your imagination. And then think about, if you have something important to say, think about how, if you get the tone a little bit wrong, or the other person who's listening to you might hear it in a certain way, why they would think that you mean something different, because of the tone that's added on there, right? It's not just the words. That's what this whole message is all about. Okay? Tone. That's number 5. How about really angry? We're having Brussels sprouts for dinner tonight. I feel like a pirate. Arr. Okay, we're working on the 6 elements of vocal variety. Pitch, high pitch, low pitch. Pitch, melody, not monotone. You're gonna talk a little bit up, a little bit down. Pitch, melody, pace. Fast talking or slow talking depends on if you want to get people excited or if you have something emotional to say. Pitch, melody, pace. Pause. Sometimes you're gonna pause. Tone. I don't like your tone. That's the emotion. And the last one is volume. And most people nowadays are so used to being on their phones that they don't even realize you don't know how loud to speak. when you're talking to people. We're just used to being in our own little world. And if you're in a group of people, or if you're in a conference, or if somebody asks you for your opinion in a meeting and you stand up, most people don't know how loud they need to speak.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
I'm going to tell you right now. The rule is to speak as loud as you need to so that the person at the very back of the room can hear you clearly.
Loud noises!
You're not supposed to speak just loud enough for the people near you. Speak loud enough for that person at the back to hear, and then that way everybody will hear you clearly. All right? They do this in acting, they do it in public speaking. That's what you need to do. And it's going to sound like it's way, way too loud and awkward for you if you're not used to this. But just practice, and you will get used to it. And people will hear what you have to say, because what is the point of having the amazing words like the pizza if nobody hears you, right? That's another way we botch the delivery. Those are the 6 elements of vocal variety. There are so many things that you can do to improve your communication. Work on these 6 elements of vocal variety. You can record yourself, watch for feedback when you're talking to other people, and just practice. Practice speaking, practice all those different variations that I gave you. And for more everyday strategies on how to be your best and how to live an awesome life, subscribe to this channel. Comment, like, and share with anyone you think might benefit. I'm Cindy Canor. The best in me recognizes and honors the very best in you.